Chrisley knows best Kyle gets nasty about Savannah's voice. Kyle Chrisley and his half-sister, Chrisley knows best alum. Savannah Chrisley are feuding over his biological daughter and dad, Chloe and Todd Chrisley. But is he hitting back now to try and bend her heartstrings? Read on to find out what's going on with Todd Chrisley's oldest son. Kyle Chrisley begged his dad for visitation rights. When Todd Chrisley went to prison for fraud and tax-related offenses, he signed over custody of Chloe to his daughter, Savannah. Chloe was born to Angela Johnson, Kyle's girlfriend at the time. While she fought for legal access, she never got it because Todd and July had adopted the child. Kyle Chrisley recently complained that his dad won't let him visit him in prison. And that upset him because he wanted to talk to his father about letting him see Chloe. Unfortunately, Todd refused and told him to talk to Savannah Chrisley. From the Chrisley knows best alum's reaction, he can probably go and kick rocks. Savannah Chrisley keeps Chloe away from Kyle. He hits back. Todd's oldest son never used to be very active on social media. However, he started doing Q and as on his Instagram stories. Earlier this month, Chrisley knows best fans saw that he talked about Savannah not allowing him to see his daughter. He said that he doesn't see her at all. Kyle Chrisley and Savannah do not get along, and she slammed him hard for ruining his relationship with his dad. At one stage, they had all reconciled. Chase and Savannah had even made up with their half-brother. However, there are suspicions that he and Lindsay cooperated with the FBI in his dad's trial investigation. Now it seems that Kyle might be hitting back by playing on his sister's emotions. Recently, he shared another post on Stories. It came after an article by People. Alongside the screenshot of the People article, Kyle had posted an old photo. In that caption, it said, "There were also some snarky comments on the screenshot about Savannah Chrisley. Savannah Chrisley seems inflexible when it comes to any cooperation with her half-sister, Lindsay, and her brother, Kyle Chrisley. They had different moms, but often blended families can be a successful reality. As time goes by, it seems that she becomes more determined to remain estranged from her half-siblings. Probably, if he tries hitting at her heartstrings, it won't make any difference at all." In the lavish world of the Chrisleys, where opulence meets family chaos, the sun shone a little brighter one afternoon in Nashville. The Chrisley clan gathered at their sprawling estate, buzzing with excitement over the latest family project, a new reality show featuring none other than Savannah and her blossoming music career. The vibe was electric, but not everyone was in a celebratory mood. Kyle Chrisley, the rebellious black sheep of the family, had a reputation for speaking his mind. He walked into the room with his signature swagger, clad in a leather jacket and a smirk that could cut glass. Today, however, his demeanor felt off, a storm brewing behind those usually bright blue eyes. He spotted Savannah at the piano, pouring her heart into a new song, her melodic voice filling the air with warmth. "Can you tone it down a bit, Savannah?" Kyle said, leaning against the doorframe with arms crossed. His tone was a mix of teasing and something sharper, and it caught everyone's attention. Savannah paused, a puzzled expression crossing her face. "What do you mean, Kyle? I'm just practicing." "Practicing? More like torturing the family," he shot back, a hint of laughter masking the bitterness. "You sound like a cat stuck in a tree." The air shifted, tension creeping into the otherwise light-hearted atmosphere. Savannah's face fell, the joy in her music dimming. "Really? That's how you feel?" Her voice trembled slightly, a mix of surprise and hurt. "Come on, I'm just saying, you might want to consider a new hobby," Kyle replied, the playful edge of his voice now edged with something darker. Chase, ever the peacemaker, jumped in. "Hey, Kyle, back off." Savannah's got a great voice. Just because you can't appreciate talent doesn't mean. Talent? Kyle interrupted, a sardonic smile spreading across his face. I'm all for encouragement, but let's be real. This is Nashville. You can't just waltz in here thinking you're the next big thing. Savannah slammed her hands on the piano, the keys clashing in protest. I'm not trying to be the next big thing. I just love to sing. I get it, but maybe you should stick to beauty products, Kyle quipped, throwing a casual glance at her latest line of cosmetics displayed on the counter. At least you can count on those to sell. Savannah's eyes flashed with anger. You know what, Kyle? You've always been so quick to tear me down. Maybe it's time you focused on your own life instead of critiquing mine. The room fell silent, the weight of her words settling heavily in the air. Kyle ran a hand through his hair, the bravado faltering for just a moment. I'm just looking out for you, he mumbled, almost defensively. The industry can be brutal. And who are you to tell me that? Savannah shot back, standing up now, the fire in her eyes undeniable. You've made your fair share of mistakes. Look at yourself. The tension escalated, family members exchanging glances, unsure whether to intervene or let the sibling rivalry play out. Julie, their mother, stepped forward, trying to diffuse the situation. All right, let's all take a breath. Kyle, maybe it's not the best time for jokes. I'm just being honest, he exclaimed, his voice rising. Someone has to be. Savannah took a deep breath, her anger simmering just below the surface. I appreciate honesty, Kyle, but there's a difference between being honest and being cruel. I'm doing this for me, not for you or anyone else. Then why do you care what I think? He retorted, frustration spilling over. Because you're family. I want your support, not your criticism, she countered, her voice steadying. If you can't be that for me, then maybe you need to step back. Kyle's expression hardened, the realization of his isolation hitting him. For all his bravado, he was alone in this fight. Alone in a family that thrived on support and love. Fine, he said, his voice low, but don't say I didn't warn you. Savannah shook her head, tears welling in her eyes. I'm not asking for your approval. I just want to follow my dreams. Dreams don't pay the bills, Kyle muttered, frustration evident in his tone. You think this is just some fun little hobby. You need to be realistic. Savannah stepped closer, her voice softer now but still fierce. I am realistic. I'm putting in the work, and if you can't see that, then that's on you. I'm done trying to please you. The room felt electric, the tension palpable. Chase glanced at Todd, who had been watching the scene unfold with a mix of concern and pride. His children, passionate and fierce, though sometimes too much for their own good. Hey, maybe we can all take a moment to reflect, Todd suggested, trying to redirect the energy in the room. Savannah, we believe in your talent. And Kyle, you might want to think about how your words affect those around you. Maybe I'll just keep my mouth shut, Kyle said, his tone softening a fraction. It's easier that way. No, Savannah interjected, a hint of a smile breaking through the tension. I want you to be honest. Just be kind. That's all I ask. As the dust settled, the family began to feel a shift. Kyle may have been harsh, but beneath the surface lay a protective instinct. And Savannah, fierce as she was, would not be deterred by criticism. She was determined to carve her own path. Let's put the past behind us, Savannah said, her voice more composed. I'm going to keep singing, and I hope you can support me, even if it's hard. Maybe I'll even show up to your first gig, Kyle replied, a hint of sincerity creeping back in. Just don't expect me to clap if you hit a wrong note. With laughter breaking the tension, the Chrisleys found their footing once more. After all, in a family where love and rivalry intertwined, it was just another day in the world of the Chrisleys, where voices may clash but hearts ultimately unite.